being in Australia, I had access immediately to services and state-of-the-art treatment. Because of that, I was able to have fertility-preserving treatment, was then able to go on and fulfil my life goals, become a mother and be sitting here today to tell my stories. Awareness has two aspects. I think from a policy perspective, awareness that the screening test exists, the proof, I am proof of the possible. I think Australia is one of the countries leading the way, and for that to happen elsewhere, policymakers need to be made aware that they have the means to roll out programs and should be working on the method to get these screening tests out to as many women as possible. After that point, from a patient perspective, it's about making that an everyday conversation, making sure that women know, they're aware, and it's a conversation that's being had to ensure that those screening tests are actually happening, and happening broadly across age groups and across demographics. So definitely there is inequity with access to healthcare for women. In terms of cervical cancer, I feel as though it is not only something that impacts women, I think it impacts women's partners and children. Incredibly important issue to ensure that there is equity of access. And for me, growing up in South Africa and moving to Australia, I'm very, very aware that my diagnosis could have been very different. My prognosis could have been very, very different. Access to early screening, early intervention, I've achieved everything I thought I would, a mother, a wife, and working. For most women in other countries, this is just not the case. And that's what drives me to share this conversation. The diagnoses are too late, and those women's lives are torn apart. Those communities are impacted for generations based on those women's lives being lost. And we have the tools. We just need to increase the access. I feel as though we are at the point where we have the means potentially to completely eliminate a cancer. This is unbelievable now to get our heads around. We've got a real reason to continue to ensure that we're doing everything we can to reach that point. Working towards elimination will take a lot of effort, a lot of combined effort in a lot of different areas, but I think it's absolutely worth it to be able to give that gift of not having to worry about that for our future generations. So I've been a cervical screening advocate, and I discuss this in many different contexts. But the message is always the same. Go and get screened and encourage the women in your life to get screened. And that's everybody, not just women, that's men as well. And as we know, women are pillars in our society, and they often deprioritise themselves, looking after their families. It's up to everyone, and we really need to encourage women to start putting their health first, and everybody can help them to do that.